Greens. Revolutionary greens. Starting to see people come on alive. Greens. Revolutionary greens. Salutations to everybody out there. As you come on this live, please share this live. It's your timeline. We're going to get it in real quick. One love, bro. Greens. Revolutionary greens. Let me share it with my timeline, of course. Share this live. Greens. That's right. Shout out to Biafra. Shout out to all the freedom fighting struggles out there today across the globe, man. Get it in real quick. Hold on, I got y'all. This live gonna be short and sweet, people. This is just my little assessment of what's going on in America right now. Anarchy 2020, Uprising 2020. I felt this was something that I had to speak on, so I wanted to speak on because I wanted to make it clear on what I wanted to talk about real quick as far as the uprisings. Free the land, Conrad, free the land. I really want to just tap in real quick and give my quick synopsis, my quick critical analysis of what's going on with the riots, the rebellions, the insurrections, the uprisings going on across the United States of America inside the empire. You know what I'm saying? It's one particular thing that I wanted to point out as far as my observations of what's going on in the streets across America. So I just wanted to make this very clear. And let me just go ahead and put this out here before I start to even elaborate on what I'm going to talk about. This is the first thing you got to understand. A lot of you ain't going to agree with what I'm about to say. So I'm going to go ahead and put the disclaimer out there right now. A lot of you are not going to agree with what I'm about to say. A lot of you will. That's cool. But just get this disclaimer understood. This is Haki Kweli Shakur's perspective, thoughts, you see what I'm saying? And views of what's going on. My ideology, my political beliefs. You feel me? So you don't have to agree with it. You see what I'm saying? But I'm just putting it out there. Being that I am a new African revolutionary nationalist, I'm a person that believes in total independence for new African people inside the empire of the United States of America, so we can get this clear for people who come on the live, you see what I'm saying, and want to disagree with what I'm saying. So the disclaimer is out there so you can understand where I stand. I'm a nationalist that believes in total independence for new African or African people, no matter where you be at on this globe. So you can get mad, get angry, disagree, or whatever you want to with what I'm about to say. It don't matter because I put the disclaimer out there. So my political beliefs ain't your political beliefs. But check this out. African people, black people, or whoever want to come into the live that's non-African, non-black, or whatever you are. You see what I'm saying? Understand. When it comes to me, I'm African first. I'm new African first. So I stand with my people first. I want the best for my people. So let's get that understood. When you disagree, before people start, catching emotions or catching feelings. I'm 100% African first. So people can know where the hell I stand. I'm 100% African first. That means African people come first, period. That when it comes to our political, social, economic plight, struggle, no matter where we at on this globe, but I'm speaking specifically on the Africans inside the United States empire. Black first. Everything is first for my people. Let's just get that out there before people come on here, you see what I'm saying, trying to disagree or get mad. So, got that out the way. Got the disclaimer out the way. So it shouldn't be no issues. You feel me? Because you know where I stand. African first. Period. Period. So everything I care about is my people's well-being first. Allies are last. Let's get that straight. Africans first, allies last. You are last when it comes to me and what I'm struggling for. You feel me? And who I'm struggling and fighting for. Allies come last. Period. Get mad. I don't care. Allies come last. So I'm just setting up the paradigm. I'm setting up the whole paradigm. That's all I'm doing right now. So people can understand. You know what I'm saying? Being a new African revolutionary nationalist, I am anti-racist. Let's get that clear. I'm anti-racist. Period. I have no hate, no nothing for no human beings on this planet. Unless you're my enemy. Period. Let's get that straight. Unless you're my enemy. Period. So I got that out the way. You know what I'm saying? I got that out the way. Now let's talk about what I really want to talk about, which is the most important thing, is what's going on inside this empire with these uprisings and why I made that disclaimer. Moving on into it is the fact that black people, new African people, misnomered African Americans inside the empire. I'm going to say this and say this one time only. And this is definitely for the peaceful protesters that I see that are always in front of the cameras, you see what I'm saying? Or, on social media, no matter where you at, right? The peaceful protesters is that please get a hold of your organizing. Please. This is coming from somebody who's politically educated and understand organizing and mobilizing. Because we have done this. I have done this. You see what I'm saying? So this is past lip service. I'm just giving out some advice coming from someone who may be older or more advanced or experienced in the struggle. But I'm speaking to my young individuals. You see what I'm saying? I'm speaking to the inexperienced individuals that's out there right now sacrificing their lives across the empire of America. Please get a hold of your organizing circles. Get a hold of your protesting circles, man. And what am I talking about? What I'm talking about when I mean get a hold of your organizing circles and your protesting circles. What am I talking about? Coming from a new African revolutionary nationalist perspective, what am I talking about? Stop inviting. Well, you're not inviting. Let me take that back. Some of you are though, because I'm gonna catch the whole circle. I'm gonna catch the whole thing. Some of you are inviting, but African people, stop letting European Americans infiltrate your organizing and mobilizing circles. You see what's going on. I ain't talking about something that you're not aware of. Some of you might not be aware of, but African people inside the Empire of America, stop letting white people, European Americans, come inside your organizing circles, your protesting circles. Because at this point, from my observation, you're letting Europeans and white Americans take over your organizing circles and your protesting circles for their own personal agendas. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. And I know a lot of y'all love you, some of them. Cool. We all have allies. I have nothing against allies. I'm not racist. You feel me? I'm anti-racist to the fullest. I know some of the most revolutionary people across this globe that come in all skin colors. I've dialogued with them. I organized with them. You see what I'm saying? But this here today, it has to get understood. This has to get. Stop letting white European Americans infiltrate your organizing and protesting circles. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there because I'm not afraid to throw it out there. Black Lives Matter is an integrationist movement. If you don't know that by now, that's your problem, not mine. Black Lives Matter is an integrationist movement. Cool. That's their thing. I'm not a part of Black Lives Matter. You see what I'm saying? That's their thing. I'm not a part of Black Lives Matter. I'm a part of the New African Independence Movement. Key word, independence. Right? Right? But we got to get this clear. Black Lives Matter is an integrationist movement that's not organized. So they let anybody come hop on and infiltrate their protest or anything that they try to organize in the name of who? Black people. And you want to know why it's like that? Because it's not organized. It's not organized. It may look organized, but it's not organized. And you can see that for your own eyes. You can see it for your own eyes. It's not organized. You have any individuals coming into the circles of Black Lives Matter who could be agent provocateurs, who could be European leftists, who have no allegiance to the new African black struggle. Period. Who has no allegiance to the new African black struggle, period. That comes from being disorganized, period. Which is one of my major reasons why I don't rock with Black Lives Matter. I don't rock with Black Lives Matter. But it's a more detailed reason why I don't rock with that. And if you know about Ferguson, I'm going to just throw it out there. If you know about Ferguson uprising and rebellion or the Mike Brown assassination, then you know what I'm talking about. All the freedom fighters of Ferguson. You should know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. But I'm not going to derail and head that direction. Because I'm talking about specifically what's going on right now. The anarchy 2020 right now is the fact that my observation and assessment is it's disorganized, which most, don't get it twisted, which most rebellions are because they're spontaneous. Most uprisings are spontaneous. You see what I'm saying? But my thing is, new African people have came too far. Listen to what I'm saying. New African people have came too far to still be repeating the same mistakes. This is why I'm doing this video, because I care about my people. I care about our struggle, right? The key thing to that all is that learning from my elders of the Black Panther Party, the Black Liberation Movement, the Black Liberation Struggle, is the fact that we must use history. Listen to what I'm saying. We must use history to correct the mistakes of history. Listen to what I'm saying. We must use history to correct the mistakes of history. Our elders made many mistakes that we're still repeating 40 to 50 years later. 40 to 50 years later, because we're not organized. There's nobody that's organized in these circles of these young people that are frustrated, who want to tear up shit. You feel me? They want to tear up shit. But it should be for a black cause. Listen to what I'm saying. It should be for an African cause. We've been the most oppressed people in this country besides Chicanos and Native people. When Native people organize, when Chicano people organize, they organize for their agenda. And I'm talking about some of the most important agendas that we have amongst us today as African people in America. We have our own agendas. But those shits get destabilized. Well, get stabilized, not destabilized. They get stabilized when you let outsiders into your organizing circles and your protesting circles. Your message doesn't get through because of that. Listen to what I'm telling you. You have European white Americans, and they're probably from the left. They're probably cool allies, but you cannot separate them. You can't figure out who's who when you let these people inside your circles. Black, listen to what I'm saying. Police terrorism on new African and brown bodies, black and brown bodies, is a black issue. It's a black agenda. You have to organize that way. This shit is for our people, not their people. Because at the end of the day, who is all this going to fall down to? Who's going to be disappointed when shit don't go their way? Because you got outsiders in your circles, a black thing, an African thing, a new African thing, who comes out there, use your struggle for their agenda and goals. That's what they're doing. You might not be out there smashing windows, black people. You might not be out there smashing windows, but you just let in outsiders who are going around smashing out windows, which is cool. That's their thing. But that shit comes problematic when it takes away from your thing. Listen to what I'm telling you now. Listen, it's common sense. Listen, it's common sense. You don't let outsiders take away from your struggle. Period. You can't get heard. You can't get the agenda and the objectives accomplished when outsiders come in your circle, detractors, Asian provocateurs come in your circle, especially if they're European. That's right. Especially if they're European, because they're not black, they're not African. They are not there for your cause. Even the ones that's staring in your face, even though Black Lives Matter, brother. Black Lives Matter, sister. They can scream that shit. They can scream that shit. But they not about that shit. When they leave that whole area, they ain't about that shit. Our lives matter to our lives. Our struggle matters to us. It's us against them. It's new African bodies against the empire. First. 400 years. We come first. We're first. We've been last for so long. It's our time. Not their time. It's our time. And then in the end game, you're going to get blamed for that shit. Like you're getting blamed by this COINTELPRO media right now. You're getting blamed. They not getting blamed. I just seen over 200 something new Africans, black and brown bodies get arrested here in this city. The police drove right past the European Americans. None of them went to jail. So what that tell you? But they the ones out there smashing shit. destroying shit because of their agenda. Listen to what I'm saying. These people have their own agendas. And I'm going to get to the point and the reason on why. I'm going to get to the PowerPoint in a second. I'm going to tell you why it's like that. Because I lived it and I see it and I know it. Because I deal with radical Europeans. I deal with the radical left. I know them. I know what the radical left is about. So you should listen to what I'm saying. Because I know the radical left. I know the radical of the radicals. Based on this revolutionary shit. I know them. I know how they think. I know what they're doing. I know why they're doing it. So just let this be the little warning. I'm warning my brothers and sisters. I'm warning my young brothers and sisters. I'm telling you. Stop letting these Europeans in your circle. It's cool to say it's all black today. Listen to what I'm telling you, Africans. It's cool to say this is all black today. No, thank you. You don't have to feel bad to tell a European American that this is all black today. We don't need nobody in this protest today. Stand on your own 2 feet, Africans. Stand on your own 2 feet, Africans. We don't need to hold hands with nobody. We don't need to hold hands with nobody. We are mighty. Listen to what I'm saying to you Africans in America. It's okay to say no. We don't need y'all today. We don't need y'all today. This is a black protest today. This is a new African protest today. We don't need y'all help. We can go against the police ourselves. We don't need y'all help. This is a major issue for me, y'all. This is a major issue for me. Because I'm tired of us repeating mistakes. You're repeating mistakes, brothers and sisters. You're going down a path that I don't want to see the next generation is coming behind me to go down. We done made those mistakes for y'all. By allowing these people in our circles, in our organizing, in our protesting. We done made those mistakes for y'all. I don't want y'all to make those mistakes. I don't want y'all to repeat that cycle. Because the PowerPoint, and let me get to the PowerPoint, and the reason why I'm warning you to do this is to keep them out your protests in your circles. This is why. When it comes to black agendas, black objectives, and I'm going to name a few, reparations, mass incarceration, racial housing, poverty. Those the main agendas. Reparations, mass incarceration, racial discrimination, mass poverty. You feel me? And I'm talking about those main agendas alone. But I can use reparations by itself. Do those same allies, do those same white people show up to those agendas and objectives? Do they come in mass numbers? Do they be ready to tear up shit for you to get reparations? No. So the next time you out in the streets with these radical white people or these so-called activist white people, you make sure you look them in the eye. You make sure you look at them and see if you see their faces again when the most important agendas and objectives come up for Africans in America. Look, they won't be there because I know it. I lived it. I done seen it. That's why you don't see me out there in that shit. They won't show up for your real agendas. They won't be there. And I know some of the most radicalist white people ever that's ready to go to war. Some of these radical white people are ready to go to war, period. But they're not ready to go to war for new African bodies. They're not ready to go to war for black and brown bodies. They're not ready to go to war for that. They're not ready to go to war for that. Organize something around our main agendas and goals, which is what? Reparations, land, total independence, freedom, sovereignty, nationhood. Put it on the table. See if they show up. See if they show up. See if they go tear down some buildings and knock out some windows for reparations. Let's see them do it. And that's where I'm going to leave it at. That's the PowerPoint right there. Say one word, reparations. And see if any of those radical white people you see destroying the buildings today going to show up. That's the ultimate test right there because I've seen it already. I done experienced it already. See if they be there for your next reparations organizing or your next reparation, you know what I'm saying, agenda to the government. When we go forth in front of the government or the Supreme Court, let's see if those same radical buddies show up for that. Let's see if they show up for you. And I'm here to tell you, they won't. They won't. They're never there. They're never there. And the reason why this disorganizing in the way that this thing is because you got some bootlicking integrationist leaders in these circles, in these organizations. Black Lives Matter. We already know Black Lives Matter. Does black liberation matter? Does black liberation matter? That's the question you should be asking. Does black liberation matter? Does black reparations matter? Does de-incarceration matter? Does housing matter? Does poverty matter? Does these conditions that black people live in matter? Does the food black people eat matter to these radicals, white people? Most important, giving us our land back. Does land matter to these radical Europeans that's out there busting up the property, burning down buildings in the name of George Floyd's assassination? Think. You got to think. You got to think first. Think first. This is how I go at the whole material world. This is how I move in the material world. This is how I think in the material world. Will those same people be there for what's important? No. Probably a handful. Probably a few. Probably a few, a handful. Will those same radical Europeans tell the racist Europeans about themselves? Will those same radical white people tell the government, give new Africans reparations? It's easy to pick up a sign and yell Black Lives Matter because they know Black Lives Matter is disorganized. This is why these leftist groups are infiltrating Black Lives Matter. Because they know Black Lives Matter doesn't have an organized body, an organized leadership, a collective leadership. So they mold right in like some agent provocateurs. They move on in like agent provocateurs and take over your movement. I'm tired of turning on the TV. I'm tired of looking at white people taking over black movements. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Ain't you sick of it? And the only reason I'm not mad at the individuals that's out there that's allowing it, because they're young, they're youth. They don't know no better. They don't have no elders, man. They don't have no elders to tell them what to be on the lookout for and who's who. They don't know how to look out for agent provocateurs. They don't know how to look out for white people who are misusing and using our struggle, our death, our genocide, and our mobilization for their gains, their goals, their struggle, their anti-government thinking, their anti-government rhetoric. I can't blame them. They can't see it coming. They can't see the misuse of white people, of black bodies for their personal agendas. They can't see it. White people are infiltrating black struggles, black movements to deteriorate the forward progress. Every time that happens, we take 2 steps backwards. We take 2 steps backwards every time you let these Europeans in your circles and infiltrate your protests and your organizing. Period. It's cool to watch. It's cool to turn on the TV and see white people turn up shit. But what they turn that shit up for? Who are they turning it up for? What's their end goal for turning that shit up? For who? Who are they turning it up for? Is they turning it up for you to get reparations? Is they turning it up for you to get better jobs? Are they turning it up for you to get better food? Are they turning it up to get your brothers and sisters out of prison? Are they turning it up to overthrow this government? Are they turning it up to free new Africans? Listen to what I'm saying. Very hypocritical, brother. Very hypocritical. Black Lives Matter is an integrationist movement. You don't gotta like it, but it's the facts. Do you ever see Black Lives Matter advocating for reparations? Have you ever seen Black Lives Matter advocating for land that was stolen for African people? Have you ever seen Black Lives Matter advocating for better food, better housing, clothing, jobs? I've never seen Black Lives Matter organize for better jobs. I've never seen Black Lives Matter advocate for reparations. I've never seen Black Lives Matter organize for land. The only time Black Lives Matter show up is when a man gets blown away by a cop. What is their political structure? What is their political goals? What is their political ideology? What is their political social economic end game? But they use Assata quotes all day long. They use Assata pictures all day long. But they don't believe nothing Assata stood on. They don't fight for nothing that Assata put her whole life on the line for. Her whole lifestyle on the line for. I've never seen Black Lives Matter struggling for something that Assata stood on and in exile for. And like I said, this is not to push somebody's ideology on anybody. I don't push my ideology on nobody because this is me. This is what I stand on and my elders. But it's very hypocritical and very contradictory when you take people who sacrifice their lives and use them as posters for something that's counterproductive and counter-revolutionary to what that lady stood on. What it took bullets for. Most of our elders incarcerated for doing 50 years plus. This stuff is getting old, people. It's getting old. Us repeating the same mistakes over and over is getting old, man. It's old. It's tiresome. It's played out. It's played out, man. Us keep repeating the same mistakes of our elders is getting old. It's played. And trust me, many of those radical Europeans, those radical leftists, they know where I stand at when it comes to New African struggle. When it comes to the black struggle, they know where I stand at. When it comes to certain agendas and objectives of the New African nation, you can't come in here. You can't come in this circle. This is our struggle. You can't come in this circle, man. We don't need y'all for everything. We have to stand on our own feet. We have to do this ourselves, man. We don't want to hold hands no longer, man. And we have to emphasize that to the youth. This is why they cannot spot out white agent provocateurs who are just out there tearing up shit, setting shit on fire, and don't give a fuck about George Floyd for real. They don't care about George Floyd for real. They're using it for their own political basis, their own political agenda. I know radical white people more than any of you know white radical people. I know them. I know how they think. I know how they move. I know what they're fighting for. It ain't New African liberation. It ain't black liberation. And I know many black people haven't reached that level yet. They may tiptoe and tap dance on it. You feel me? But a lot of new Africans, misnomer African Americans, have no idea what black liberation is. They don't know what they're fighting for. They don't know what the black liberation movement sacrificed their lives for. They don't know why the Black Liberation Army sacrificed their lives for and took the police into guerrilla warfare. They don't know why. You don't know why political prisoners are doing 40 to 50 years. Because they wanted you to have your own. They wanted you to organize your own. They wanted you to fight for your own everything, man. People took bullets for that shit. People took bullets for that shit. People doing 50 years for that shit. So all I'm asking, man, all I'm trying to show you, really, you have to organize your circles. You have to organize your protesting circles. White people don't have to be involved in every protest that a black man or a black woman organize. It's okay, black people. It's okay. Just like in Malcolm X movie. Let me take it at Malcolm X movie real quick. Remember the part in the Malcolm X movie when the white girl came up to Denzel Washington playing Malcolm X and asked Malcolm X, yes, what can non-black people like me? What can non-black people like me help with the Muslim movement or help with the black movement? What Malcolm X, Denzel Washington say to her? How can I? She said, she kept asking him, how can I help? Where can I fit in at? Can I join your struggle, Malcolm? What Malcolm said? Malcolm looked at her and said, no. 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 You want to know why? Because Malcolm overstood. We've been through so much for 400 years, man. Malcolm understood that we must stand on our own feet and fight for what's ours by ourselves, because he knew it would help us overall as a nation, as a people, to stand on our own feet and fight for ourselves. We don't need nobody holding our hands for this. We done seen it. We got some of the most powerfulest ancestry and shoulders that we're standing on. It's cool to tell your ally, we don't need you today. We don't need you at this protest today. It's very simple. White people start to pull up at your protest. Get a good 3 soldiers that you know are soldiers in your movement and have them on deck to be ready to tell them, no, we okay today. We don't need y'all help today. We don't need y'all help today, white people. We got this. We got this. We strong people. We black people. We new African. We African. We got this today. We don't need no white help today. This is how the natives did it. This is how the Chicanos do it. This is how every true ethnic group or group of people do it. When they fight for their agenda, they fight for it on their own. They stand on their own 2 feet. They don't look for outside help. Black people in America are the only people that keep letting outside help come into their circles and detract from their goals and agendas. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it because you don't know their motives, man. And then in the end, black people will get blamed for anything that they do that they didn't do. Like they doing on COINTELPRO, CNN right now. You're getting blamed for the buildings get set on fire. You're getting blamed for the windows getting smashed because you let them infiltrate your circle. Because you let them in your circle. Black liberation means black liberation. Some of you might not want to be a part of that, and that's cool. Because a lot of y'all don't know what black liberation is anyway. A lot of y'all think black liberation is having a seat at the United States of America's table. That's not black liberation. That's damn sure not black freedom. Every free person that you see on this planet as a community, people in the world community that has a nationality, that has land, that has their own economy, their own government, is a free people. Blacks in America, you're the only people on this side of the hemisphere that don't have none of that. You don't have your own economy. You don't have your own political party. You don't have your own political system. You don't have your own land. You don't have your own banks. You don't have your own buildings. You have nothing. You don't even have your own name. Your name is white. Your name is white. Martin, Brown, whoever you are, you're white. You have a white identity. You have a white identity. African American, white identity. Because it was given to you by a white man. Well, a black man in a white mentality gave you that identity. So, in the end game, I'm trying to tell you, you can only ride 1 mule. You can't ride 2 mules. You either riding the mule to liberation or you riding the mule to oppression. Which mule are you going to ride on, black people? I'm riding on the mule to liberation. I want total liberation for my people. Period. Don't ever get that confused. I'm not with no integrationist politics. I'm not with no integrationist reform objectives. Period. Because none of it works for black people. None of it. We have been given the instructions. We had leaders that come before us that gave us the instructions, and all of them seen over the hill. They seen the paradise over the hill. And guess what that paradise was? Total separation. All of them looked over the mountaintop before they was either assassinated or shot or incarcerated today. Guess what they all seen when they looked over the mountaintop? They seen total separation. Go look up each and every individual that's a leader from the past and see what their end game was. Whether it's Noble Drew Ali, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, end goal, separation. End goal, separation is the only solution for new African people in America. End game. With that being said, that's all I wanted to say today, is that it's cool to tell white people, listen to it before I get off this line. It's cool to tell white people we don't need your help today. Whether they're your ally, friend, relative, white people, we don't need your help today. We got this. We got this. We don't need your help. We don't need you at this protest. We don't need you in this organizing circle. This is a black thing today. This is a black thing today. Sorry, white man. Sorry, white woman. We don't need you today. And see how that cuts out all the manipulative shit. Because a lot of these radical white folks have manipulative motivations. Some of your college buddies that are white have manipulative, you know what I'm saying, agendas. Period. I know you can't see it because you're so in love with them when the white man or the white woman or the college students standing beside you with the Black Lives Matter sign saying Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, brother, Black Matters Matter, sister. It feels so good to see a white man and a white woman standing beside you saying Black Lives Matter. They got you. Soon as they do that, they got you. And they're going to go out there like, we just got those brothers and sisters. We just got them. Now let's go tear this shit up because we know they're going to get blamed. They're going to get arrested. I just seen it last night. You're going to get arrested first, black and brown bodies. They're going to ride right past the white boy on the skateboard. The police going to ride right past the white boy on the skateboard. Right past the white boy on the skateboard. Go get those niggas. Go get those niggas. They did it last night. 200-something people arrested. And the majority were New African, misnomer African American, and brown bodies here in this city. So imagine how it's going on in every city across America when you go out there for a peaceful protest and the white man and the white woman infiltrate your movement and they do their own shit. Now you're going down for their shit. How does it feel? I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. And then COINTELPRO, the racist media, are going to plaster it all across the media. Look at those thugs. Look at those thug black people. But it's white people out there smashing the windows. It's white people that's burning down the buildings. The number one issue with New Africans inside the empire when protests, rebellions, and insurrections start to spark off, it has no prolific organizers in the forefront to direct it. Because now you find and you will see that black people become followers of white people's agendas. You will see one white boy smash the windows, smash them out, go inside the store, start looting. Here come the black brothers and sisters, right behind that one white boy. You don't even know if he's an agent. You don't even know if he's an agent for the government. You don't know if he's an agent for the right-wing KKK. You don't know if he's an agent for the white nationalist movement or the white nationalist nation. But you got these young brothers and sisters who don't know no better because they releasing all their frustration. They're angry. They tired of black bodies being killed. They tired of seeing black bodies being murdered. But then here come these white people you let in your circle start to smash the windows, loot the stores, and then my brothers and sisters fall for it every time and go follow them right into the store. Follow them right into the trap. And then it's going to be you, brothers and sisters, plastered all over the news media. Look at those thugs. Look at those thugs in the store. Look at those thugs. Because you let that one white boy or that white girl infiltrate your circle saying Black Lives Matter. She is not out there for black lives. She's out there to destroy the property, fight with the police, because that's their agenda. And then they catch you all on camera, black man. They catch you all on camera, black sister, and saying, look at that thug. nigga going into that store, stealing all that shit. And it was a white boy or a white girl that smashed up all that shit and set that shit on fire. We have to stop. We have to stop. We have to stop falling for this, man. We have to stop repeating these mistakes every time a protest or a rebellion or an act of pure civil disobedience takes place, that we become followers of our own movement. We become followers of our own protest. You got all these white people out here. Some of them might mean good, but the majority of them don't mean good because they out there for something else. They ain't out there for George Floyd. They ain't out there for Breonna Taylor. They ain't out there for Ahmaud. They're not out there for them. We got to be out there for them. That's our brothers and sisters that's getting murdered, not theirs. You got to learn how to separate this shit. You got to learn how to separate shit. That comes with being great thinkers. You got to learn how to separate shit. You can smell shit from a mile away. That's a natural goddamn, you know what I'm saying? That's a natural trait, a natural thought. You can sense bullshit. That's a part of your senses, man. And I don't care how they take it, because I know radical white people. I know them. I know how they operate. I know how they operate. End game. Like I said, before I get off, end game. And I'm opposing this. This is a serious question before I get off of here. And I want y'all to get off this live and truly think about it. Because I love you all. When you get off this live, think about this one question. Black people in America. New African people in America. Misnomer African Americans in America. What are you truly struggling for? What do you truly want? Listen to what I'm saying. Black people, New African people, misnomer African Americans. What do you truly want? What are you truly fighting for? This is what you have to focus on. Before all the, you can release the rage. We all gonna release the rage. But what is our end game, brothers and sisters? What do you truly want for your people? What do you truly want out to come out of this for the black bodies that have been sacrificed at the hands of this terrorist government? What is the end game? What do you totally want for your people? Think about that when you get off this live. What do you want for black people in America? What do you want? I'm going to tell you mine. I want land. I want land. Reparations. Total separation. How about that? 3 goals, 3 objectives that I want for black people after observing 400 years of genocide, murder, and death, and disease, and poverty. What I want for black people, land, reparations, separation. You should be asking every ancestor in your prayer. Every prayer should be, God damn it, I want land, reparations, and separations for black people in America. And no more oppression. True freedom. Go look up the definition of the word freedom before you use it off your tongue. When I hear black people say, I want freedom, it's not integration. It's not total equality at a table with a white man or a white woman. That's not freedom. Too many died for the true meaning of the word freedom. None of that shit is freedom. Reform ain't freedom. Integration ain't freedom. Equality with another oppressor is not freedom. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. That shit is not freedom. Don't use the word freedom unless you're ready to die for that shit. Sacrifice your life for that shit. Go into exile for that shit like Asada. Don't use the word freedom. Do over 30 years like Matulu. Don't use the word freedom. Take a bullet in the chest, the neck, the throat like Malcolm. That's freedom. That's freedom. Sacrificing your life to be with your family to live in exile. That's fighting for freedom. Being taken away from your goddamn kids. For your people. Because they put their people first. They put their people first. Because they wanted what I just told you. They wanted land. They wanted reparations. They wanted total separation. Because they knew that's the only scientific solution in this material world for black people in America was those three things. Period. So as I get off this live, I just want y'all to think about that, man. Just think about that. You see what I'm saying? I appreciate every and each one of you that tuned into this live today, man. But I just wanted to give you something to think about. And I just wanted to give you my advice as far as my assessment of what's going on with these 2020 riots, these 2020 uprisings, is the fact that y'all got to get organized better than that, man. You got to keep these outsiders out your organizing, out your circles, out your protesting, because they're going to keep black people's struggle stabilized for this government to keep us controlled, man. Period. We're never going to get our objectives accomplished. We're never going to get to where we got to go, which is paradise. You feel me? When you let these people infiltrate your circles and stabilize it with their own goals and agendas that have nothing to do with your goals and agendas and objectives for your people. That's facts, man. I love you all. Period. I'm going to sign off on that note, man. Take care of yourselves. COVID-19 is still out there. COVID-19 is still out there. And last but not least, if you know a young brother and sister, or even an older brother and sister that's out here actively in these streets protesting, pull them to the side, give them the game, man. Try to make them see something that they can't see, man. Because a lot of these young brothers and sisters that's full of fire, that's full of rage, they're ready to do some shit. They don't care who infiltrating their circle. They don't care who pulling up in their circle, man. And that's how they get got. I don't want to see these brothers and sisters going to prison for 30 to 40 years like our political prisoners because they fell for the same mistakes that the elders fell for. Or they sacrificed their life for. You see what I'm saying? So pull some of these young brothers and sisters to the side and let them know it's cool to tell white people no. It's cool to tell white people no, you can't participate today. You can't be in this circle today. You can't be in this protest today, man. And on that note, man, be a loyal enemy. Be a loyal enemy. That's real loyalty. Be a loyal enemy. That's real loyalty. Because your enemy has more faith in what you can do than what you think you can do. Be a loyal enemy. That's being loyal. Free the land by any means necessary.